I didn't brace, I didn't see it coming, it happened. I was completely shocked. It was such a weird feeling. I could feel the bones moving across each other. I was obviously not too worried about the fact that I was undressed by a lot of strange people, but at least the kit and the gear and everything was fine. This was actually the first trip that we did with, or that I did with my full leer gear. I had knee guards on, I had my boots on. The only thing I didn't have on was a leer underwear, but the rest was everything that I could have on, I did have on. There was lots of ruts. There was water here and there and rocky outcrops, but nothing that we haven't done before. You know, we were riding and being windgat and talking about technique and trying out different stances and doing all sorts of things. And as we came around this corner and past that bakkie, I knew in the back of my head that you were coming around this corner at crazy speeds, as you do. And I was concerned that you were going to come around this corner at speed and go into that bakkie. So I was trying to get hold of you, but unfortunately we had lost communications because we were sort of out of reach. And I kept on looking back to see if you were coming around the corner. The one time too many that I looked back to see if you were coming on a little rut in the road, little mud rut that got dry. I lost the front wheel and fell. I would have expected to have an accident at a different place, to be quite honest. But I knew instantly as I fell and as I realized what happened, I could feel that my legs, or the right leg was definitely broken in the boot. And it was simply just the twist action of the bike's momentum going over my leg. My foot got stuck and was twisting and couldn't do anything else but give. I could feel the bones moving across each other. Any other fall and every other fall that I've ever had in my life, I sort of knew that something was going to happen. I expected it, and I think that contributed to the actual break of my leg, because I didn't brace, I didn't see it coming, it happened. I had no control over my leg, and when you guys picked me up to put me in the back of the bakkie was probably the most pain that I've ever had in my life. I just said to Jan, tell Pierre and Adrian to carry on with this trip. That's why we are here. There's nothing that you guys could do for me. There's no point in you guys coming to the hospital, carry on with the trip, finish what we came here to do. Ilse asked me for my wife's number and my medical aid details. And I said to her, please don't phone my wife and tell her that I had an accident, because I haven't spoken to her yet. There's no cell phone reception. And she said, listen, don't worry, I'll handle it nicely and I'm gonna sort out everything. She arranged for an ambulance to pick me up by the side of the road when we get to the tar road. And that was another hour and a half drive to get to Bethlehem from where I got into the ambulance. So approximately 3 hours after the incident, I arrived at the hospital. And at that stage, I still didn't have any pain medication. When the emergency room doctor eventually came to introduce herself, quite an attractive young doctor that assessed the situation, and I sort of notioned to her that I just want to talk to her quickly, and I asked her privately to please not cut any of the gear off my body. Before going under, for them to be able to remove the boot and everything, I had to show her how everything worked. So I showed her and took off the left boot. I took off the knee guard, showed her how the pants and all the zips and everything works. But yeah, she explained to me, and if you think about it, 3.5 hours worth of swelling and hurt, and that boot was apparently quite a difficult thing to take off, but they did it. I was obviously not too worried about the fact that I was undressed by a lot of strange people, but at least the kit and the gear and everything was fine. From the bottom of my heart, just a huge thank you from me to everybody that made a really good thing out of a very situation. But when you see your kids, you realize, shit, I could have been dead. I could have been in a much more serious accident. I could have been, could have been in hospital for a month, or whatever the case is. It was an emotional, difficult thing to deal with. For the first 6 weeks, I was on my back. The pain was so unbearable that I couldn't sleep for 3 weeks. The frustration of walking around on crutches, it absolutely killed me. Very frustrated. I threw the crutches many a times out of frustration. For me, not to ride leads to almost like a depression type of vibe and state. It was a very difficult thing for me to deal with. So when I got onto the bike again, I didn't have issues riding the bike. I wasn't scared of riding a bike, but I definitely have a bit of a confidence issue when it comes to riding at the moment. I don't just attack everything the way I used to attack everything. Ride without thinking about the consequence. I'm thinking about the line I take. I'm thinking about the sand patch that's coming up. I'm thinking about the water crossing that we do, where I didn't used to think about anything. So it'll be interesting to see if it goes away with time and more riding, or if this is now the way that it is. It's going to be interesting to see. There's no regrets. It gave me a chance to rethink, relook, reevaluate life, business, relationships, everything. So I've decided from now on I will never look back again. Only look forward.